Ah, Indiana, the land of basketball, cornfields, and potholes big enough to hide government secrets. From the outside, it sounds like the perfect Midwest dream. Friendly neighbors, cheap living, and that small-town charm people brag about on Facebook. But step off the highway, and you'll quickly realize not every town here smells like apple pie and hard work. Some of them smell more like broken dreams, expired milk, and whatever that was under the bridge. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 worst towns to live in Indiana right now. The kind of places where hope checks out early and Wi-Fi signals are just rumors. So, if you're planning a move to the Hoosier State, you might want to keep your U-Haul pointed in the opposite direction. And before we start, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more brutally honest breakdowns like this. You might just save yourself from a lifetime of bad pizza and worse neighbors. Number 10, Clarksville. Clarksville, Indiana, where dreams come to nap. It's one of those towns that sounds nice when you say it out loud, until you actually drive through and realize the biggest attraction is the now hiring sign at Walmart. This place sits right across the river from Louisville, Kentucky, and honestly, the best part of Clarksville is how close it is to not being Clarksville. Now, to be fair, Clarksville has some history. It's home to one of the oldest fossil beds in the country. Pretty cool, right? But that's also its biggest brag. Come see the rocks that have more life in them than our nightlife. Because once the sun sets, the most exciting thing to do is argue at Kroger's self-checkout or see how many mosquitoes you can swat before losing your sanity. The economy? Let's just say it's hanging on tighter than a pair of jeans after Thanksgiving dinner. Jobs come and go faster than Wi-Fi during a storm, and most people just commute out of town because, well, there's not much to stick around for. The malls that used to buzz are now echo chambers for tumbleweeds and for lease signs. Traffic-wise, it's not awful until you hit Veterans Parkway. Then you're just stuck behind someone doing 25 in a 45 zone, debating all your life choices that led you there. And the roads? Oh, they got personality. 1 minute you're driving. The next your car is performing an unplanned bounce test on a pothole big enough to hold a swimming pool. But the real issue here is the vibe. Clarksville feels like it's been almost improving for the last 30 years. Every few years there's talk of revitalization, but the only thing getting revived is the same tired gas station at the corner of Eastern Boulevard. If you're thinking about moving here, you better love peace and patience because you'll have both in excess. Sure, it's got affordable housing, but affordability only matters when you actually want to live there. Clarksville isn't the worst place on earth, but it's definitely the kind of town where you visit your grandma, say, wow, not much has changed, and realize that's exactly the problem. Number 9, Beech Grove. Beech Grove, Indiana. The small town that swears it's part of Indianapolis, but feels more like Indianapolis' awkward little brother. You know the one. Always borrowing money, always saying he's about to get his life together, and somehow still living in mom's basement. Beech Grove is one of those places where you can see the skyline of Indy from a distance, like a constant reminder of where you could have been if you made better life choices. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. It just exists, floating somewhere between decent suburb and live-action episode of Cops. Speaking of cops, they're busy. The crime rate here doesn't exactly make you feel at ease. You lock your doors, then you lock your locks, then you double-check that you didn't just lock yourself inside forever. Half the town's excitement comes from watching the police blotter on Facebook like it's a Netflix show. And the roads? Oh, buddy. Between the constant construction and random detours, getting around Beech Grove feels like playing Mario Kart. Except you don't get any power-ups, just potholes and regret. And don't get me started on the trains. You'll be sitting at a crossing for 10 minutes wondering if this is how your life ends. Slowly, painfully, and surrounded by honking strangers. On paper, Beech Grove sounds fine. Affordable housing, close to the city, good schools nearby. But in reality, it's like someone hit pause on progress in 1998 and forgot to press play again. Everything feels just a little bit tired, a little bit outdated, and very beige. Still, Beech Grove's got heart. That stubborn Midwestern pride that refuses to quit. The people are friendly, even when their patience is tested by traffic, trains, and the eternal construction zone. But if you're thinking about moving here, just know, It's the kind of place where going out means going to Walmart, and big weekend plans usually involve arguing with someone in the drive-thru. Number 8, Elkhart. Elkhart, the RV capital of the world. And that's not just a nickname. It's a lifestyle. This town builds more RVs than anyone else, which is funny because the moment you move here, you'll probably want to live in one just so you could drive away. Now, Elkhart isn't all bad. It's got a strong manufacturing history and hardworking people. But when the RV market dips, so does the whole economy. One bad year, and suddenly the help-wanted signs vanish faster than a tax refund. It's a boom and bust town that never seems to find steady ground. And let's talk about the vibe. Elkhart feels like it's permanently stuck in a just surviving mode. There's not much nightlife, unless you count watching the same car circle Main Street 3 times. The downtown has improved in recent years, but for every nice coffee shop that opens, 3 payday loan stores pop up right beside it. Balance, I guess. The weather doesn't help either. It's cold, gray, and windy enough to make you question every life choice that led you there. And when it rains, it really rains, turning half the streets into ankle-deep puddles and making your car look like it just returned from a mud wrestling match. Crime's another story. Elkhart's got more theft than a toddler's birthday party. You can't leave your bike outside unless you want to donate it to the neighborhood's unofficial bike-sharing program. And yes, there's been improvement, but the numbers still don't scream safe. Still, you have to respect Elkhart's grind. People here work hard, even if it's just to keep the lights on. But as far as places to move, unless you love unpredictable paychecks, gray skies, and the smell of diesel in the morning, you might want to keep driving that RV anywhere else. Number 7, Kokomo. Kokomo, the names sound tropical, right? You hear it and think palm trees, sandy beaches, maybe even a cocktail or two. But let me stop you right there. The only island paradise here is the one made of potholes after a rainstorm. The Beach Boys clearly never visited this Kokomo, or that song would have been a very different story. Kokomo's the kind of town where the factories outnumber the fun. It used to be booming, a proud industrial city where folks made cars, glass, and dreams. But nowadays, let's just say the only thing booming is the noise from the trains that never stop honking. The downtown has had a glow up, sure, but drive 5 minutes out and you're right back in what looks like a scene from a post-apocalyptic survival movie. The weather is classic Indiana, unpredictable. 1 minute it's sunshine, the next it's tornado watch, and everyone's pretending not to panic. And when winter hits, you'll be scraping ice off your windshield wondering if you should have moved to literally anywhere else. And crime? It's not exactly the peaceful Midwest brochure you were promised. Property theft, drug problems, and random mischief are all part of the package deal. You'll find some good folks, no doubt, but you'll also meet a few characters who look like they're on a permanent job interview with cops. Even the nightlife here is creative. There's a bar, a bowling alley, and that one diner everyone swears by even though it hasn't updated its menu since 1984. The people of Kokomo make the best of it. It's that classic Hoosier spirit. But if you're moving here hoping for the tropical Kokomo from the song, you're in for a shock. The only thing warm and breezy is the air vent from your old apartment heater. Kokomo isn't terrible, it's just tired, like it's been trying to get its life together for decades, but keeps hitting snooze. You can make it work here, but you'll need a strong sense of humor, a tougher sense of patience, and a good set of tires. Number 6, Hammond. Welcome to Hammond, or, as locals lovingly call it, the Chicago discount version. It's close enough to the Windy City to hear the sirens, but far enough that you don't get any of the good stuff. Hammond's like Chicago's leftover casserole, kind of familiar, a little confusing, and probably a bit expired. Once upon a time, Hammond was an industrial powerhouse. Today, it's more like an industrial hangover. The factories left, the jobs left, and the optimism hit the road with them. Now the city's working hard to reinvent itself, but it still smells like steel mills and regret. And let's be real, Hammond's reputation isn't exactly sparkling. Crime is high, unemployment is stubborn, and the roads look like they were last paved during the Nixon administration. You can tell a lot about a place by its roads. Hammond say, "We gave up halfway through the project and went home." The public schools here are doing their best, but funding is a struggle. And the housing market? Affordable, yes, but affordable doesn't always mean livable. You might score a cheap house, but make sure you budget for the roof, the walls, and possibly a priest to bless the place before you move in. And the smell? Oh, the smell. If you've never experienced the unique cocktail of factory smoke, lake breeze, and something vaguely metallic, Hammond's got you covered. Locals swear you get used to it after a while. Personally, I think your nose just gives up. To be fair, Hammond does have heart. The people here are tough, proud, blue-collar survivors who've learned to laugh through the chaos. They love their city, even when outsiders roast it. But if you're thinking of relocating here, just remember, it's not Chicago. It's Chicago's stubborn cousin who refuses to move out of the basement. Wait. You made it this far and you're still not subscribed? That's crazy. You've been laughing, nodding, judging, maybe even Googling cheap apartments far from these towns, and you still haven't hit the button? Come on now. That's like eating at a restaurant, loving the food, and then sneaking out before tipping the waiter. Don't do me like that. Hit that subscribe button, go on. I'm serious. Alright, done? Good. Now let's move on before Indiana itself files a complaint about this video. Number 5, East Chicago. Welcome to East Chicago, Indiana, where the East doesn't mean fancy like New York's Upper East Side. No, it's more like the East Side of nightmare. If you've ever wondered what happens when heavy industry, pollution, and economic collapse decide to throw a block party together, congratulations, you found it. Once upon a time, East Chicago was booming thanks to steel. But now, the only thing booming is the sound of potholes taking out car suspensions. It's the kind of place where you step outside and can literally taste the air, and not in that romantic fresh morning dew way. More like, is that lead? Speaking of lead, this town made headlines for all the wrong reasons thanks to its contamination problems. There are neighborhoods sitting on toxic waste zones, literally. People joke that if you plant a flower here, it might just come up glowing in the dark. And if you think that's bad, wait till you check out the job market. It's so dry, tumbleweeds apply for unemployment. Then there's crime, East Chicago's favorite indoor sport, with thefts, assaults, and general chaos being part of the daily routine. Residents deserve medals for surviving their morning commutes. Even the police here look like they're one siren away from burnout. So if you ever plan to visit East Chicago, make sure you pack a gas mask, a metal detector, and maybe a motivational speech for your sanity. Because in East Chicago, survival isn't just a mindset, it's a full-time job. Number 4, Evansville. Evansville, or as locals like to call it, E-Town. It's the biggest city in southern Indiana, and still somehow manages to feel like the set of a low-budget zombie movie. You'd think being big would help it stand out, and it does, mostly in crime statistics and allergy alerts. Evansville tries, though. It's got a riverfront, a few nice parks, and a downtown that's trying really hard to glow up. But somehow, every improvement feels like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. The infrastructure looks tired, like it's been up since the 70s waiting for someone to fix the roads. And the economy? Let's just say job opportunities here are like UFO sightings. People talk about them, but no one's actually seen one. Crime's another chapter in the Evansville Survival Guide. You can walk downtown and hear sirens so often it starts to feel like background music. Locals say they can tell which part of the city they're in by how many police cars they see per block. Then there's the weather, because why not add misery to the mix? Summers here feel like being steamed alive in a cornfield, and winters are a coin toss between mildly miserable and your car battery froze again. Still, Evansville folks are tough. They've learned to live with high crime, polluted air, and low wages, all while keeping their Midwestern manners intact. So credit where it's due. It takes real heart to call this place home. If you're ever in Evansville, don't forget to wave to the locals, but maybe keep one hand on your wallet. Number 3, South Bend. Welcome to South Bend, the city that gave us Notre Dame, Mayor Pete, and, well, a lifelong sense of confusion about why anyone stays here. This is the kind of place where dreams go to take a nap, wake up, and realize the alarm clock's been broken since 2003. On paper, South Bend looks promising. You've got a college that's world famous, football Saturdays that bring the whole city to life, and people who still say go Irish with pride. But step a few blocks off campus, and suddenly it feels less college town and more open-world survival game. Because let's be honest, South Bend's crime rate didn't come to play. It's like the city made a bet to see if it could outdo Chicago's worst neighborhoods on a smaller budget. The economy? Let's just say it's been on life support longer than anyone wants to admit. Once an industrial powerhouse, South Bend's factories went poof, and what's left behind are empty warehouses and jobs that pay in good intentions. The unemployment rate has been a frequent flyer here, and the median income? Let's just say it won't get you far, unless far means down the street to Dollar General. And then there's the weather. South Bend gets hit with lake effect snow so intense it feels like Mother Nature's trying to bury the city just to spare it from itself. You'll shovel your driveway in the morning, blink twice, and it's gone again. Under another 8 inches. And the roads? Let's just say the potholes have their own zip codes. But don't worry, South Bend still has charm. If your definition of charm includes high property taxes, boarded up houses, and a downtown that's trying so hard to look modern you can almost hear it whispering, please like me. To be fair, there are signs of revival. There's investment in tech, some nice breweries popping up, and a few good restaurants that make you forget for 5 minutes that you're still in South Bend. But when night falls and the sirens start singing their nightly lullaby, reality hits hard. So if you're thinking about moving here, ask yourself one question. Do you want a place with personality or PTSD from hearing gunshots and snowplows at the same time? Because in South Bend, you don't get to choose. You get both. Number 2, Indianapolis. Indianapolis, the crossroads of America. Which sounds nice until you realize that's exactly the problem. Everyone's crossing through, but nobody's staying. It's the kind of city that wants to be Chicago so bad, it's practically practicing in the mirror. Now, Indy does have a few bragging rights. The Indy 500, a halfway decent downtown, and more chain restaurants than your GPS can handle. But venture beyond Monument Circle, and it's like entering a different world. A world of busted sidewalks, forgotten neighborhoods, and folks who've been waiting on city improvements longer than George R.R. Martin's been riding the winds of winter. Crime? Let's just say Indianapolis is one of the few cities where your GPS warns you emotionally. Car thefts are up, shootings are up, and the police scanners sound like mixtapes of bad decisions. You'll find news headlines like, "Man arrested after chasing thief with lawnmower," and somehow nobody's even surprised anymore. And don't even get started on the weather. It's cold, hot, rainy, and humid, sometimes in the same hour. The potholes here are so deep they could qualify as minor tourist attractions. You could drop your phone in one and start getting texts from the other side of the world. The economy, meanwhile, sits somewhere between trying and tired. The downtown area looks good on postcards, but the neighborhoods around it are struggling with poverty rates that'll make you blink twice. And don't get fooled by those new apartment complexes. They're just modern boxes with rent prices high enough to make you miss your parents' basement. Still, Indianapolis does have heart. The people are hardworking, the sports fans are loyal, and the food scene's not half bad. But as far as living long-term, let's just say you'll need more than Midwestern charm to survive the mix of crime, traffic, and unpredictable weather. Indy's that friend who looks great in selfies, but chaos in real life. Fun to visit, but exhausting to love. Number 1, Gary. And finally, number 1, the heavyweight champion of struggle, Gary, Indiana. If cities could talk, Gary would probably just sigh. Once a booming steel town that powered America's industry. Now it's a post-apocalyptic museum exhibit on what happens when jobs leave faster than your hopes. At its peak, Gary had over 175,000 people. Now it's barely holding on to 65,000, and most of them are still wondering why. Every street tells a story, mostly sad ones. Abandoned houses, shuttered schools, and factories that look like movie sets for zombie films. The skyline isn't filled with ambition anymore. It's filled with memories and pigeons. Unemployment? High. Poverty? Higher. Crime? Let's just say it's the only place where your Uber driver might ask you for directions and prayer. Even police patrols here move with caution, because Gary doesn't just have crime, it has attitude. And yes, this is Michael Jackson's hometown, which makes sense because even the king of pop moonwalked out of here as fast as he could. But to be fair, Gary's downfall isn't just about the people, it's the system. The steel industry collapsed, jobs vanished, and the city never fully recovered. Property values dropped so low you could probably buy an entire block for the price of flat-screen TV. But good luck finding anyone to live next door. If you drive through Gary, you'll notice something strange: silence. Not the peaceful kind, the eerie kind that makes you check your locks twice. The air feels heavy, the streets empty, and even the streetlights look tired of trying. The sad part is, Gary could have been something special again. There are passionate locals trying to revive it, small businesses popping up, and community projects slowly breathing life back in. But until the jobs, safety, and infrastructure catch up, Gary remains the face of Indiana's urban struggle. A city that once burned bright, but now flickers like a dying street lamp. Gary isn't just a city, it's a warning. It's what happens when the American dream packs up and leaves town. Hold up. You enjoyed the video, didn't you? Don't lie. If you did, you officially owe the Urban Lens a subscribe. It's the law now. Go ahead, click that icon on your screen right now, before I call out your hometown next week. Don't test me. I will find it. And if you already subscribed, you're safe. You're family now. I'm the Urban Lens. Thanks for watching. And remember, if your town didn't make this list, just wait. It probably will.